Alright, what's up guys? I went through and I did the new Scourge preview. And it has to deal with, you kill minions and you gain blood. Once you gain a set amount of blood, you can open a rift to a new dimension and you start fighting in an alternate reality. These demons, these minions, these creatures that are called the Scourge. So I was thinking about, if we're dealing with blood, trying to stick to the whole theme of the season, why not just go bleed? So I was thinking about making a bleed. This one right here is one of my characters. He's a bleed gladiator. My first bleed gladiator I ever made was this guy right here, and he goes by the name of Vampiric Emotokai. Why? Because I drained their blood. That was the basis around this character. I don't remember what season or what league I made this character in, but it was way before Bleed Bow became a meta. People used to make fun of it too. They're like, oh, that's such a meme skill. That's what they called it. It's a meme skill. I enjoy Bleed Bow. I do. But it could be ran two different ways. I could do Bleed as a Deadeye and do the whole Rupture thing, or I could just play a Gladiator. I haven't played Bleed Bow in a long time. When it came to Expedition League, I remember quitting the league, and that league I was playing Elemental Hit anyways. So it's been a very long time since I've messed around with Bleed. And I'm trying to decide on whether or not I like the Split Arrow variant, which Split Arrow's cool. The gear that I have on this is the Silver Tongue, which allows it pierces all targets after forking, and I synchronize this bow, the Silver Tongue, with the Rigwalds just so arrows fork. That way I'm getting the pierce effect of it, and then the critical chance after it pierces. Of course, I have the Cost Priest for the double curse. This is a old setup. Like, these skill gems and stuff you can't get anymore. These are all legacy gems. Like this Unbound Elements, you can't get this in game anymore. This efficacy, the vicious projectiles, all the gems have changed so far. This was just the last Bleed Bow character that I made. So I don't know which one I like more. I mean, I'm gonna die, aren't I? Corrupted Blood's gonna kill me. I don't know if I like the Split Arrow, because you could use Bleed on any physical attack gem. And in one of my videos I went over the difference between attacks and spells. But I don't really know if I like this. I mean, it's cool and all. The pops are cool. That comes from the Gladiator Ascendancy, being able to pop everything. This being a very old character, I know that I didn't do something right. Being in all unique gear, except for the belt and the rings and the amulet, like, it's not a good build. It's not. I didn't even follow I didn't follow a guide for this. No, this was me running around and just experimenting with stuff, trying to learn on my own. But I don't know if I like the Split Arrow idea, or if I want to do the Rain of Arrows.
My spirit is spent.
Because Split Arrow's gonna need something like Pierce, or Chain, or Fork. And that's just for the general area clear. But if there's one thing that I don't like about getting those gems, unless I plan on running something like a Rigwald's with a Silver Tongue, to get to get the forks. I mean, you can get the fork mod on an amulet also, which is all unique items. There are just a few things about those skill gems that I don't like. And I'll show you what I mean right here. If I run over here and I go to the support gems, Pierce will allow you to pierce 2 additional targets, which is cool. And when you start adding something like quality to the gem, it will give you a more multiplier. It's not a huge more multiplier, but it does give you a more multiplier, which I think is pretty dope. Even then, since I'm only playing with the Gladiator, I would need something that comes with a lot of projectiles anyways. Because if not, I would have to run either a lesser or a multiple greater projectile support. And these have less modifiers on them. This gives 15 less projectile damage, while the greater multiplier gives... the greater multiple projectile support gem, you know, it's 35 less projectile damage. I am losing damage. And since I actually want to try to give it a go this season, I actually want to try to, you know, maybe I'll be able to beat Shaper this season. Maybe I'll be able to complete Cyrus this season. Maybe I'll be able to finally defeat the Maven. Who knows? But these are... I'm going to need all the damage I can get, and these are not going to do it for me. But I have a choice between Pierce... Here's Chain, but Chain is 30% less damage with hits. I could use something like Greater Volley, but it's still 30% less damage. Fork is 10% less projectile damage. And that's just for the general clear. But if I just used Rain of Arrows, let me type this in. Like, Rain of Arrows? Can I buy this? I don't have an Orb of Transmutation. Why do I not have an Orb of Transmutation? I do not have an Orb of Transmutation. Why is that? Can I buy an Orb of Transmutation?
Whoa.
Where's it at? You. Now can I buy one? Good. So if I use something like Rain of Arrows, where's my split arrow? It's right there. At least with this skill, I'm not gonna need things like greater multiple projectiles. I'm not gonna need things like Pierce, since Rain of Arrows doesn't pierce. It doesn't fork. These arrows fall down from the sky. And they kill everything in their wake as they're falling from the sky, which I think is pretty dope, because you run, you click on a pack, and the whole pack explodes. If I wanted to kind of click on that pack, that whole pack explodes. I'll run over here, have these guys chase me, and as soon as they get there, I can click on this pack, and the whole pack explodes. Right here, the whole pack explodes. Like, it's just... I feel like it's a type of an easier playstyle, just to use Rain of Arrows. I mean, it's not the fastest thing in the world. It's going to be more of a one-shot build. But I have other options also. Like, if I don't enjoy using Rain of Arrows. But I mean, Rain of Arrows is so good. It is. It is such a good skill. It makes you stay away from things like the forks. Because you no longer need forks. You don't need Pierce. You don't need Chain. It has an area of effect of everything that it will hit, and the whole pack just explodes. I mean, yeah, this is Blood Aqueducts. You would expect something like this to clear Blood Aqueducts. which is cool, but the general playstyle of hit a pack and run. Hit this pack and run. Hit a pack and run. Hit this pack and run. I mean, there's probably still going to be stragglers and stuff. You hit a pack and you run. You hit a pack and you run. Hit a pack, run. I like the playstyle of Rain of Arrows. But let's go look for some more physical gems and find some other ideas that I can use for bleed. Because I want to play a bow. I want it to be a bleed bow character. And because the enemies are bleeding, that will give us our way to steal their blood and add it to our device that our rusty ass Technus infected device that we were urged to put into our body. What other skills are there? Let's see. It works with any physical skill gem. So let's type in physical. Okay. So what if I wanted to just say bow? What are the bow skills? That's Caustic Arrow, which deals damage in like a little puddle. This is Ice Shot, but it converts some physical damage to cold. We don't want a conversion, we want it to be all cold. Here's Split Arrow. That's Burning Arrow with the conversion. This is 50% converted to lightning. That's Galvanic Arrow. This is Puncture, which I do have. I'm going to be using Puncture. Sharpnail Ballista. Mirror Arrow. Lightning Arrow. Rain of Arrows. Elemental Hit. Barrage is another good one. If I wanted to use Barrage with a... I might actually have one of the jewels. It becomes a single target skill, and you could use it as a clear skill. Hold on, you. Do I have one? I think I have one. Why do you not work? Grow in Agony, Healthy Mind, Lord of Steel, Malicious Intent. Actually, the steel, I could use some of the steel skills also. Volley Fire, here it is. So if I did want to use Barrage, the Volley Fire, this jewel, if I socket it into one of the jewel sockets, it will give me 7% increased projectile damage, but with at least 40 dexterity within radius, the Barrage fires 6 additional projectiles. And it gives it a type of spread, which I can use. But I wasn't even thinking about steel skills. We have steel skills. Let me type in S-T-E-E-L, steel. Like Splitting Steel. Consume a steel shard to fire a single projectile that splits on impact. But even something like this you would probably want to use with a fork or a chain, because it is projectile, which is what I'm trying to stay away from. Shattering Steel is still projectile AoE, which still requires pierce or fork or chain. And then Lancing Steel, again, probably pierce, fork, or chain. So I might actually end up running just Rain of Arrows. It fires 17 additional arrows. And I would be able to get rid of this bow if I wanted to. Drop the bow, I'm no longer using it. Drop the quiver, I'm no longer using it. And probably get a higher DPS bow. And maybe I could get a quiver that has, you know, physical damage over time which that's what bleed is. It's physical damage over time. Physical damage, some life, and maybe resistances, attack speed. I can get a lot on a quiver, depending. Which brings me to the point that's not gonna change. It's some things about bleed are just never gonna change. Bleed is a physical skill, and it could only be inflicted, I guess is the right word. You could only inflict bleed on enemies with physical damage. So the higher your physical damage, the higher your bleed damage will be. With this character in particular, I mean, Split Arrow is cool. It gives 51 to 67 added attack physical damage, which means every time that I attack with Split Arrow, it's adding an extra 51 to 76 flat damage, which kind of is a lot, I guess. But being able to drop this bow if I wanted to right now and get a better quiver, if I wanted to right now, I feel like Rain of Arrows is just the best way to go for what I'm going to be doing. It's not going to be for single target. Rain of Arrows is for general clear. That's what it's going to be built around. It's going to be built around general clear. I have a full passive reset, but I'm not going to use it. Because come next season when the the patch drops. I was also running 2 Lion Eyes in this build, but I didn't have a chance to grab this Lion Eyes. I had this one. Did I have 3 of them? I could potentially even run 3 Lion Eyes if I wanted to. With more levels, I could do that. But I had 2 Lion Eyes in this build. But it's all about stacking physical damage. And damage over time multiplier. And just general damage over time. Which is something, that's probably where I'm speccing to right now, is more damage over time. I'm up here. So I'm probably going to grab Fangs of the Viper, Resourcefulness, in Trophy, grab these life nodes. And did I go crit? I didn't go crit. No. I might just, you know, grab Trickery, grab these health nodes, grab Trickery, and start heading over to Growth and Decay, which is just more damage over time. I don't know if I have the passives for all that. But the 3 things that I'm going to want to stack as a bleed character is going to be physical damage, just flat physical damage, which this bow has, you know, it adds 115 to 257 physical damage. That is the flat number, the 115 to 257. The one thing this bow is missing is percent physical. Like, do I have an example of one? I might have one in my stash. Let me go check. Yeah, right here. So this bow says 96% increased physical damage. And it adds, which is the flat damage, it adds 29 to 53, bless me. It adds 29 to 53 physical damage. So I'm going to want a bow with those 2 mods on it. I'm going to want physical damage and increased percent physical damage. That's one thing this bow doesn't have, is increased percent physical damage. Then I'm probably going to want something like, again, accuracy and attack speed, which is pretty cool. the base could be better and stuff. But I'm gonna need the highest PDPS, and what PDPS means is physical damage per second. The highest bow that gives me the most physical damage per second is probably going to be the best bow for me. What is my accuracy at now that I think about it? Let me run back out here real quick. I'm probably never gonna play this character again. I was just revisiting Bleed. Wait. C, that's what I'm looking for. Where does it say accuracy at? I clicked on Reina Arrows and accuracy. 1600 accuracy right here. Chance to hit. Oh, yeah, right here. Main hand chance to hit is only 89%. So I'm gonna need 100% accuracy, or like 90% accuracy to get it to work also.
Spirit is spent.
Which is just something else that I'm gonna need to worry about in the future. Is where else I'm gonna get accuracy at? Because I could sacrifice nodes to grab more accuracy. Now that they came out with what's it called? Masteries. So if I typed in accuracy right here, let's find a node that has accuracy on it right here. Weathered Hunter. It comes with a notable passive, and the way that the new masteries are going to work is I would have to probably grab these three, and then I'd be able to spend another passive point on an accuracy node, which might be the easiest way to get some accuracy. Even down here, Farsight, 6% increased accuracy, 8% increased accuracy, 12% or 8% increased accuracy. So getting the Farsight notable might give me a mastery with more accuracy. Bleed's gonna have its own. Bleed is gonna have its own mastery, which I feel is gonna be like sets. So of course I'm gonna have to pick up every one of those Bleed masteries. Try to figure out a way on how to get life, because right now, you know, I'm only on 4.3 and I'm level 87. So like, I don't know what else I had planned for this character. Such an old character. But I might play Bleed Bow next season, regardless of the changes that they're gonna make to the passive tree, the new skill gems, whether or not they decide to change some skill gems, new stuff to the Atlas. Some things about Bleed just aren't going to change, and it's probably the things that aren't going to change is, you know, you need physical damage. You need the highest physical damage that you can get, and you can get, you know, physical damage on your bow, which is what I plan on doing. Flat and increased physical damage, increased percent physical damage on a bow with something like attack speed and maybe accuracy. That would be pretty good. Doesn't even need to be double, triple, quadruple corrupted BS. Just the highest physical damage per second bow you can find. You can also get more flat, which are the numbers, which is why it's called flat. More flat physical damage on your quiver. They got a thing out that's called steel rings. You can get more flat physical damage from steel rings. So I think that's what I'm going to be doing. Get as much increased physical damage. Yeah, what am I trying to say? Get as much percent increased physical damage on my gear, along with flat damage, while still being able to get the life rolls, because the life rolls are gonna be huge. Like, okay, this armor has no life on it. This the helmet has no life on it. The boots have no life on them. The bow has no life. The quiver has no... You don't ever get life on a bow, just saying. The only places I'm really getting life... Like, this only has 48 life on it, but it adds flat damage. Like I was saying, yeah. You can get flat damage on rings. See, this adds 5 to 11 physical damage to attacks. This one does flat lightning damage. Adds 2 to 23 flat lightning damage. But I guess this ring was the one that I was capping the rest of my resistances with. Life resistances on the belt. These gloves only have 50 maximum life, with no resistances. So the gear all can be better. Way, 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 way better. Two things are a necessity in this game, and that's life and resistances. But it's also got me thinking about defenses. What's my evasion rating at? Because that's what the build's going to have to be. Since I'm not a up close and person type build, I wouldn't go for something like block. I mean, you could probably do armor, but you're still gonna get hit by stuff from far away. Where's my evasion at? My chance to dodge is at 40%. My chance to dodge spells is at 30%. My evasion rating is only 4,300. So it's 4K. I'm not even fully resistance capped. Yeah, this is bad. But I do have avoidance from somewhere. Stun avoidance, ignite avoidance, chill avoidance. So yeah, this is something I'm not ever gonna do again. We are just not doing this. No more silver tongues. Which actually for a while, silver tongue, if I can get one early, and it has a decent roll on it, might be the best bow for like the first 2 to 3 weeks. Because if you're not gonna craft one, if you're not gonna craft one on your own, then you're gonna end up buying one, and you kind of have to choose what people are selling and what they're not, you know? So there are a lot of players who will find GG gear and give it to their friends, or sell it to their friends. And a lot of stuff is just not ever going to hit the market. They have a Crimson. There's another bow called the Crimson Storm. That allows you to inflict bleed on critical strikes. But there would have to be something that revolves around that bow. Also links. Links are pretty big also. Trying to get a 6 link is going to be difficult. But bleed is good. I've played bleed. I know just how good it is. So come in the next 7 days, I'm probably gonna look up some items, some synergies. The Asylum, the Center Tricorn, this helmet's more than likely already 100% locked in. It's a pretty pricey helmet also. but this is just for the snipe ability. And if I want to deal even more single target damage, I would need to find things like increasing the duration of the bleed. That way the bleed lasts longer if I gotta run or dodge something. I don't know. I actually have no idea how I'm gonna play this next league, but I'm almost 100% certain that I'm going to be playing a bleed bow. And I'm probably 100% certain that Rain of Arrows is going to be the clear skill, while Puncture in the Asylum is going to be the single target. That is the plan. Yeah. But that's what I plan on running for Scourge League. Probably some variant of this. I'll probably make another video after I've done a little bit more research. And I'll probably do a full, you know, you get to see my desktop and all that type video. And just show the synergies and stuff that might make this a decent character. Who knows? But that's going to come later. I plan on running Bleed Bow for the next league. Yeah, that's probably what I'm doing. Anyway, those are my ideas. That's what I'm doing, trying to keep to the theme of the new patch coming out. So if you like the video, give it a like. And I will see you all in the next video.